Hello, my lovely friends. It is your friend, Michelle L. Myers. I'm here at my little bit of sundown time where I come up to the top and I'm being reflective this month since it's my birthday month. And I turned 47 on the 25th. So I've been trying to think about what life lessons I've learned over the last years, especially the last two. The last 2 years have kind of been a little bit rough. A little bit. So I'm trying to just remind myself possibly with these recordings, as well as just share with other people perhaps something I've learned that they can maybe learn and not learn lessons as hard as I had to learn them sometimes. But one of the things I notice about myself, although I beat myself up about it and I make lots of mistakes and I'm nowhere near perfect, trust me, I actually really love God. Like, sometimes when you I don't know if you really think about it, we think about how much God loves us. We talk about prayers and worshiping and all this other stuff, but I don't know, sometimes we need to acknowledge that we actually love him. He provides, he does this, but we actually can have this admiration and love of God that I think sometimes you have to acknowledge, because you beat yourself up and you think that you're such a pathetic creature sometimes. But for all that I may or may not ever be in my life, the one thing that I do know is that God is real and he exists. And in my life, I get it. I'm a very scientific person. For those of you who know me, you know that I am. I'm very scientific. And I love science and quantum physics especially, but quantum mechanics and all sorts of things. And people throughout my lifetime have always been like, how can you be a person who loves to study science, but you're a believer? Because I don't say I'm a Christian, because the word has a horrible etymology. But to me, science proves the existence of God, because when we exhaust all of our measures, all of our instruments to measure, and everything, I know my existence alone as a person who has foresight and has since I was 4 years old, I just know God, and I know he's real. And I know some people would say, how is that evidentiary? How is that, a fact? And the fact is the sky that I see and the ground that I walk upon, the birds that I see float through the air and the clouds that appear magically in the sky. It's the way that a newborn baby cries when it comes out and it looks at its mother and recognizes it. All of that's God to me. And over the course of my life, I know I've had some fantastical things happen, from knowing when there's going to be tsunamis to world events and all sorts of stuff. And there's people who run around saying that they're psychic, and they attribute that to themselves. I'm an empath and I attribute it to myself. I don't. I attribute it to the fact that I have a creator who created me with all of these little bells and whistles that I sometimes can tap into. And I can't imagine not knowing that, because I believe that God is love that comes in all kinds of different forms and all kinds of different ways. And God's love can come through people. And sometimes it's even through people that you least believe it could possibly be through. I've seen people who say that they love God and that they're these Christian, powerhouse types of people, right? And they are some of the evilest people that I know. And then I have seen people who don't even necessarily believe in God show more love and more care and more compassion than I can imagine. And it had me rethink who God is and who God can be and who God can use. Everyone talks a lot about our president and about Cyrus and how a king that didn't even believe in God was used to help the Jewish people. So I have to believe that God's love, because we're made in the image of him, is every being and every person. But there's free will and there's choice. And sometimes people choose to do evil. But in the 47 years that I've been alive, I've seen a great deal of evil. I've grew up in a Christian cult, and I've been raped and had broken bones, and I was molested. And I've had all these terrible things happen that should make me believe that there's only evil and that it somehow triumphs. But the love of God, the voice that I hear inside of my head, and I don't care who thinks that I'm crazy about it. People who come to me for help that are sad and that are broken, and I can see a picture or get a glimpse of something to ease their suffering, that's God to me. So I don't have all the answers. I can't pretend to have all the answers. I don't think anybody really has all the answers, do they? But what I do think in the 47 years that I've been alive is that regardless of the most tragic thing that could ever happen to me in my entire life, love rescued me every single time. So if you're out there and you're hurting and you're broken and you feel like nobody cares and nobody's listening and nobody's going to understand you, I challenge you and say this to you. I dare you to ask for love to show up in your life in the form of God. I dare for you to ask God to give you a sign, to make himself known, to what makes him really real. And I've never in my entire life told someone that, and they earnestly did it, that something didn't manifest in their lives that was beautiful. So, from my heart to yours, on this mountain where I come and bring you all with me every day this month, because my birthday is on the 25th, I want you to know that you're worthy of being loved, and nothing you've ever done in your entire life, nothing you could have ever done in your entire life makes you a throwaway person. And you don't have to believe the same things that I believe exactly, and I don't have to believe the same things that you believe exactly. Here's what I think. I think if we all search for the truth, God makes himself known, because he says the truth sets you free, right? So I don't have to beat anybody over the head about what I believe. I just have to live my life and be an example of what I believe. And what I believe is that God is love. And what I believe is that he loves all of us. And he loves you very, very much. So that's my message for today. I love God. I love love. And I suppose that means I love you. So God bless you all and have a really great evening. We're all special beings on this planet together. And I think that if we can put aside our differences and put aside being right or wrong, that's the thing, you see. People always want to be right or wrong. They just don't want to love. So somehow if we can just love each other, it doesn't matter if we're right or wrong or believe the same things or don't believe the same things. What if we just put down our words that are such weapons and we simply love each other? See what happens. So I love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.